Hello from Mexico. Let's make pastel Azteca Poblano. Here's a look at the ingredients you're going to need. When I learned how to make this living here in Mexico, I was not taught with exact measurements. So just measure with your heart. Also, I'm using manchego cheese because that's what I had in my fridge. In addition to those ingredients, you're also going to need some chicken. So I start by boiling my chicken and roasting my chile poblanos. And I'm using 4 total. I've heard this dish called by many different names and made a variety of different ways. So this is just how I learned to do it. But everywhere in Mexico and everyone in Mexico is different. So once you have a nice char on your chile poblanos, you're going to put them in bags and let them sweat. And that's going to let you just peel the skin right off. After that, I remove the chicken breast and I'm going to add to my chicken stock my tomatillos and a jalapeno for some heat. To my blender, I'm going to add half a white onion, 3 dientes de ajo, a block of cream cheese, and then also some media crema. Now, you aren't going to see me add any salt to this dish. I use Nor Suiza, and honestly, I don't think it needs any more salt, but you can add it if you would like. Also to the blender, I'm going to add my 3 tomatillos and my jalapeno, and also some of my chicken stock. And you can absolutely add more if you need more liquid. Then I add a bunch of cilantro and some Nor Suiza. Now, this is not all I'm adding to the sauce, but I am going to blend this up to give me a little bit more space before I add the final ingredient to the salsa. Next, I'm going to remove the skin from my chile poblanos, and you can do that using a spoon. And then you're going to cut it open and take out the seeds. And shout out to Diego for shredding cheese because I hate shredding cheese. So I'm going to take 2 of my cleaned and de-seeded chile poblanos and add those to the blender and blend them up. And then I'm going to cut my other 2 into rajas. After I shred my chicken, I'm going to add the rajas and the corn into the chicken. Then I add a little bit of oil to my saucepan and I fry the chicken, rajas, and corn together before adding my salsa. Now you can absolutely keep the salsa and chicken separate, but I put it together because I think it's easier. I assemble this all on my stove, so I'm going to heat up some oil so I can fry my tortillas. You do not need them to be super fried, but you do want to fry them a little. And you can cut them to make them fit better, but I don't do that. So I start with 6 tortillas on the bottom, then I start adding in my salsa and then some cheese. You're basically layering this like lasagna. And each time I make this, it's about 3 layers. Then I put it in the oven and bake it at 375 for 20 minutes. You can also broil it if you want a nicer crust on your cheese. And that's how I learned to make pastel Azteca Poblano living here in Mexico. Have a good day.